Hello again, welcome to our podcast. This is Pastor Chicken with Faith Abroad. We are beginning a brand new podcast. And in this podcast, we'll be calling it Faith Abroad Immigrant Journeys in Europe. I'm so excited to share the space with you as we explore stories of faith, stories of resilience, and hope from immigrant Christians who are navigating life here in Europe and especially in Germany. So whether you've just arrived, whether you've lived here for say many years, or you're curious about immigrant experiences, this podcast is for you. For our very first episode, I want to share a story that represents so many of us who have walked this journey. It's a story of living, facing the unknown, and finding strength through faith. Let us dive now into a new beginning. Imagine this. You just stepped off a plane in a foreign country. You're holding a suitcase and a few cherished belongings. The air feels colder than you expected. The language sounds unfamiliar. And everywhere you look, people seem to be rushing past you. You're excited, but also overwhelmed. You've left behind your family, friends, and everything familiar, hoping for a better life or a new opportunity. Does that sound familiar? This is a reality for so many immigrants who come to Germany, who come to Europe filled with hope, but also are grappling with fear. And let me tell you, it is not easy. The first few weeks can feel like stepping into a wilderness, not just a spiritual wilderness, which usually it is, but a cultural wilderness. There's paperwork to navigate, there's the language barriers to overcome, culture shock to overcome, and a deep sense of loneliness when you realize that your support system is far, far away. But here's the beautiful part. This is where faith becomes an anchor. In those uncertain moments, God promises becomes clear. His word reminds us that He will never leave nor forsake us. You know, there's this one verse that has carried me along, so and it has carried also so many others. It is coming from Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, which says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and I'll help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." I remember hearing about someone who arrived Germany with nothing but a suitcase and a Bible. And this was long, long ago. They didn't know anyone. And for weeks they struggled with finding their footing. You know, it was those days where you had to write down the directions on a paper, not using Google Maps. But one day, as this person sat in a park praying for direction, they were approached by a kind stranger who invited them to a small church service. That simple act of kindness changed everything. They found a community, a place to belong, and a reminder that God uses people to show His love. This is what a new beginning is about. Trusting God to provide even when the path ahead isn't clear, even when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe you're in that season right now, feeling lost, unsure. Let me encourage you. God sees you. He hasn't brought you this far to abandon you. Take it one step at a time. Find a community, dear friend, even if it is small. Reach out to a local church or a faith based group, or just reach out to me. And above all, remember that you are never alone in this journey. As we continue this podcast, we'll share more stories like this. These stories will be real, they will be raw, but they will be full of hope. It will be stories of taking care of old persons, you know, doing Amazon delivery, stories of people who have faced challenges, who have had cancer, who have held on to their faith and have found their way. Thank you for joining me on this first episode of Faith Abroad. If you've just arrived in Germany or you've been here for years, know that your story matters and your faith journey is part of a bigger picture. If this episode has resonated with you, please share it with a friend or leave a comment. I'd also love to hear stories. You know, feel free to reach out to me if you had a comment below. And remember, no matter where you are or how hard the journey feels, faith transcends borders. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and walk boldly in faith. It is Pastor Chiki Basic with Faith Abroad.